Hi, John here. So you own a fine dining restaurant. Maybe it's Michelin star. You got 1 star, maybe two, three. Three is incredible. It's just a tiny number if you got three. So let me ask you something. Did you know that coffee is 3 times more complex than wine is? Yes, properly sourced and roasted single origin coffees are more complex than wine is. About 3 times more. 3 times more complex. So, are you offering coffees that are as or more complex than the wines that you're offering, than the cocktails you're offering? Are you offering coffees that are more complex? Because if you're not, you're really missing something. You're really missing how to further enhance your guest experience. But maybe your competitor's not. Maybe he's going to start doing that. I know there's not very many doing it now. It's less than 2%. Less than 2% of all fine dining restaurants. The number is really, it's approaching zero, but it's less than 2%. Have a thoughtful buy the cup coffee program. And why would you want to do that? Well, let's go back. Coffee, properly sourced and roasted in trained hands. So you have to have properly trained staff, which should be simple because with the expertise you already have, you do need training and guidance for that sort of thing, if that's something that you want. So the coffee gives you lots of possibilities as a thoughtful coffee program. First of all, on your menu, does it just say coffee? Or perhaps you say, yeah, we've got this like this Ethiopian coffee today. Maybe. In most chances, it just says coffee. And maybe you say that you source it from this local roaster, wherever you're at. Coffee, being much like wine, except more complex, should be presented on a coffee list, much like a wine list. Now, shorter, much shorter, really only 3, maybe 4. 3 is probably the perfect amount to have. Don't you think so? That's what I think. 3 would be a great amount. Now imagine a guest comes in and it's near the end of the meal and they've already had wine pairings, or perhaps they don't drink and they want to have some coffee with their wonderful dessert, which of course was created and prepared by your pastry chef that you have on staff as an expert. So they want to get some coffee. It's in from places that I've worked with, I know that number is typically about 30%. Now, all of these other things have been crafted by experts, and then they have coffee. So imagine they have everything else that's been thoughtfully prepared and selected, and then they have coffee. Now, imagine that they were asked for coffee and they were handed a list, maybe 3 different coffees, from 3 different regions. They could be the same, but let's just say 3 different regions, single farm, single varietal. Doesn't have to be single varietal. It could be, but single farm with tasting notes. Take this one for example. This is a very simple coffee, and from my perspective, this one I roasted a couple of days ago, and it is from El Salvador. This is from Finca San Luis. This happens to be a natural processed coffee. We don't need to get into that, but let me just tell you about this. So this, as tasting notes, This is blueberry, peach, and cherry liqueur with some dark toffee and caramelized orange peel. That's there. That's in the coffee. I didn't add anything. I didn't put anything in the coffee. Those are all natural tasting notes. And this is one of what I would call a simpler coffee. It just comes out really delicious. I like to think of it like maybe a Syrah. A good Syrah, you know, it's red, it's juicy, it's delicious. Not the most complicated wine, but it's a great wine. Much like this, simple, delicious. Imagine, just from that, imagine what you can do if you have, throughout your calendar year, throughout the culinary adventure of that year, you have these different coffees, different tasting notes, different opportunities for food pairing. And what does that mean to you? That means guests looking more forward to extend their ticket. They want to stay and enjoy that thing because they've never had this opportunity before. Anywhere, at any comparable restaurant, this doesn't exist. And that's something that you can do. And you're going to be able to charge a much higher price point. It's not going to be $6 or $7 or $8. You're going to start at about 15, and maybe you're going to go 20, 25. Some things you might even do 35 or 40 per cup, because that's the value of what you're offering. Because the thing about coffee is any particular batch of coffee with that set of tasting notes, like this one will exist for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then it's gone. Best use of coffee is within 2 to 3 weeks of when it's been roasted, that you have to use all of it. And so these things are, it's finite. It's multiple opportunities of new flavors to explore for food pairings. You can create other opportunities with what you do by pairing foods with coffee. Again, extends the ticket or creates more opportunities, higher price point, and much more profitability. Now, you do want to have training and expertise to do this kind of thing, but that's something I can help you with if you're interested in enhancing your customer experience before that guy over there, before they do this. But anyways, something to think about, because coffee, as I mentioned before, 3 times more complex than wine is. So you invested in your wine program, didn't you?